YouTube, how's it going? The GOAT House is back. Today we're ranking the top 32 NFL guards for the 2022 season. Recently did some tackle rankings. I asked you guys on Twitter with a poll how you guys want me to handle the interior offensive line. One video for guards, one video for starting centers is how we're going to do it based on your guys' votes there. Twitter, a lot of news, rumors, updates, more super follows available for exclusive content. Bunch of these rankings on the channel, more to come. We got to get to the defensive side. Like, subscribe to notifications on me. Much appreciated if you can join us for all that content. Yeah, here's our Twitter. We were talking about the new helmets. Bengals announced today. You know, the team's giving the fans what they want there. All these helmets looking pretty good. So I always talk with you guys and stuff like that on our Twitter. Top 32 guards predicting the upcoming season. And again, this isn't every guard. It's only 32 of them. So I think all these guys listed that we'll talk about today are pretty solid. Kevin DOTSON of the Steelers. Promising young guard, showing some upside. Would like to see him play, full snaps in the season here this upcoming year to help him kind of reach that or progress even further. Need to see him maybe a little more consistency as he grows here. John Runyon for the Packers at 31. Yeah, Packers offensive line actually looking a little bit different than we're used to it being. I think injuries kind of played a part, but some young guards stepping up here. Runyon, another young guy, that has some upside. Washington Commanders at Andrew Norwell, veteran guard who at one point was one of the better ones in football, maybe a top 10 guy, quite a few years ago, but has declined, but change of scenery could help him out a little bit, still solid. Gabe Jackson, kind of in the same boat, was once maybe considered a top 10, top 15 guy, and still is pretty solid, but maybe on the decline a little bit. But Seahawks guard at number 29. Moving on, Nate Davis of the Titans at 28. 2 years ago, he looked pretty damn solid, kind of a surprise guy. I don't know if he's played that well since, last year as he played the year before, but another one of those young guys that has some upside there. Robert Hunt, who I like at guard. I think it sounds like they're going to play Connor Williams at center, so we'll rank him with the centers. Hunt should be playing guard, has experience at tackle as well. They got all the, Eichenberg can play tackle, guard. Austin Jackson, talk about him playing tackle or guard. So Dolphins got quite a few of those guys in there. But Hunt, I still like his upside. I really liked him as a prospect. So could take a step up this year. Rookie at 26. There's a lot of people that have problem with me ranking rookies that haven't proven anything yet, but I'm predicting the upcoming season. Kenyon Green was a first-round pick for a reason. So I like him. And he's a very good pass protector for right off the bat for a guard. That's why he kind of thought he could play tackle. Well, he has played tackle, but has that ability because of his pass protection ability. So the Texans rookie guard comes at 26. Cody Whitehair, who's been pretty inconsistent. There's been moments throughout his career where it's like this guy could be a consistent Pro Bowler perhaps, and there's moments where it's not so great. So I almost liked him better, and the Bears disagree, but I almost liked him better at center, but a solid guard that could play either position, just like for him to stay a little more consistent. He's at 25. 24, Landon Dickerson, who I believe will play guard because Kelsey's still at center. So Dickerson, who they had fill in at the end of last year at the guard position, I like his upside, and he's coming off that injury, remember, so he wasn't fully right, was so dominant at Alabama that I think he takes that big step up this year, and hopefully we see him full time. So Landon Dickerson comes at 24. Former Eagle, Big V comes in at 23. When the Lions first signed him, they put him at tackle. I did not agree with that, and it didn't work out. New staff and adding Penei Sewell last year, he goes back to guard. He's a pretty solid guard. I mean, we saw that when he filled in for the Eagles in the past. Pretty solid guard. And he comes in at 23. Austin Corbett going from the Rams to the Panthers. A pretty solid signing for the Carolina Panthers there, which they needed offensive linemen in general, and they did add that. He comes in at 22. Justin Pugh of the Cardinals. Yeah, he's kind of been hot and cold throughout his career, maybe kind of declining a little bit, but definitely their strongest guard. They could look to add another one. Probably they added Will Hernandez, but they kind of had that problem last year where it's kind of just Pugh in there by himself. He comes in at 21. Top 20, Matt FEILER. Pretty solid year for the Chargers. Was a little iffy on that signing, but yeah, has experience playing multiple spots throughout his career, but was pretty solid last year for them. So he's at 20. Still kind of want to see more there. But yeah, I think he'll be around this range. Andrews Pete, tough one to rank at 19 because he has the ability to be better than 19. Injuries have popped up. kept him off the field, when on the field, since since the contract too, since the injuries all came out at the same time. He hasn't really played as good as he can play. So tough projection there for Andrews. Pete comes at 19. I got a rookie at 18, my number 1 guard from the draft class, and we got 2 Chargers within 3 rankings right here. But Zion Johnson, I think, is a plug-and-play guy, pro-ready. I think he makes that instant impact, so I'm going to rank him at 18. I think he'll be phenomenal for a rookie. So you see 2 Chargers again, Johnson and FEILER. So interior position looking. The offensive line in general is looking strong, minus that right tackle spot. Ezra Cleveland of the Vikings at 17. That seems like a fun project that's really worked out for them. A guy that they moved from tackle to guard, and he played very solid last year at the guard position. So he's got a lot of upside too, and he's been pretty impressive. So he's going to be at 17. 16, I'm going to go James Daniels, who the Steelers signed. He was with the Chicago Bears. I always thought James Daniels was very underrated. A bully of a blocker, especially in the run game, which Steelers really want to do. Steelers very good at developing those interior guys. So I like Daniels, what he's already done and where he could grow to with the Steelers there. So he comes in at 16. Another free agency signing, Alex Kappa, goes from the Bucs to the Bengals, exactly what the Bengals needed. So I think another guy that is still growing, could still get better. So he's at 15. 14, Trey Smith was an absolute steal last year's draft for the Chiefs. Had a phenomenal rookie year, and he'll continue to grow there. Another bully of a blocker in the run game there. Roger Saffold goes from the Titans to the Bills. Good pickup for the Bills there. And Saffold was once, not too long ago, 2 years ago, maybe borderline elite type player. Maybe he's declined a little bit, but still a dominant guard in this league, and why he's 13. So it's a good pickup for the Bills there to try to get that offensive line set to make a Super Bowl run. We're on to the top 12. Number 12, Kevin ZEITLER. That change of scenery seemed to help him a bit, because he was known as pretty damn good, and then he was really dropping off. And then he goes to the Ravens. It's like, all right, you like the fit. I think we talked about, we love the fit, kind of fits that power blocking of the Ravens, but what is he, where is he at in his career? But I thought he had a really good year, and again, that fit really shows, so he comes in at 12. We got 2 Jets back-to-back. I got a second-year guy making that leap this year, Elijah Vera Tucker, already in his second year. I got him at number 11 guard. He really got going late last year, and this was a guy as a pre-draft prospect. A lot of people had him at tackle. I liked him better at guard. I saw the upside at guard. I called him a potential Pro Bowl guard. So much upside, and we're starting to see that there. The Jets add Laken Tomlinson from the 49ers in free agency, which was big time. A lot of familiar faces there with the coaching staff with the Jets as well, so that definitely helps. So plug and play guy there. We know you're going to get from him. I think he's just inside he's number 10, a top 10 guard. So the Jets interior looking pretty strong there, 10 and 11. Brandon Scherf at 9. Who probably would be better in this if you can fully trust him to stay healthy. I mean, he hasn't really completed a full season in, some time, and, but he got paid the big bucks for a reason, because he's a very, very talented guard. So I still put him in the top 10. Again, if he starts to stay healthy, I project him to be ranked better than number 9. So the Jaguars got a good one. Just cross your fingers about him staying on the field, obviously. Top 8. Number 8, Chris Lindstrom of the Falcons, who's a young guard who's really getting going now. When when the Falcons drafted him, it was like one of those kind of surprising picks. Like, you knew Lindstrom was arguably the best guard in that draft, and maybe he can go late first, where the Falcons took him. It was maybe a little surprising, but at the end of the day, we're like, yeah, they got a pretty good guard though still. But early on, maybe I thought he'd be better early on, so I was a little, not really worried, but a little worried maybe, but really got going recently. Last year, very solid for them. So he's really coming along, and he can kind of continue to make his way up the board here. Shaq Mason at 7 goes from the Patriots to the Bucs. A great trade for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe he's not quite as good as he once was, but plug him in with Tom Brady, which the quarterback does play a big part, how the offensive line plays with adjustments, obviously. So plug him back in with Tom Brady, plug him in with the very good offensive line at Tampa Bay. I think Mason plays like a top 8 guard. Speaking of the Patriots, Michael Onwenu, who's been a steal for them, a guy that can play all over the line. I mean, he can play tackle for them. Some talk about them playing Trent Brown at left tackle. They play Onwenu at right tackle then. I mean, he's very versatile. He's very talented across the board. Very impressed with him. So that's just definitely one for the future, because he's already number 6 here. So another guy that can continue to make his way up the board there. Browns guard, one of their guards, Wyatt Teller at number 5. We've seen both their guards get that get the paydays recently, and there's a reason for it, reason why their run game is so strong. Teller was like an okay player at Buffalo too. He's how he's worked out with the Browns. Has been such a good fit. It's just been awesome for him. So he's number 5. We're on to the big top 4 of the best guards in football predicting this upcoming year. Joe THUNEY was fantastic for the Patriots and fantastic for the Chiefs. A fantastic signing for the Chiefs, and why their offensive line, was a problem for them and what stopped them from winning the Super Bowl to being one of the best in football. It starts with guys like THUNEY and Orlando Brown, adding those guys in there. THUNEY is just so fantastic for them last year. Effective pass protection and run blocking there. Joel Bitonio, another Browns guard. So Browns got number 3 and number 5. Bitonio's been super consistent. Another one of those guys that was kind of almost under the radar, like pre-draft a little bit. People were kind of saw this guy's got a lot of upside. And I think he got going really early in his career, and that was fantastic. 1 and 2. There's a clear 1 and 2, and they're pretty interchangeable. I'd say you can put him either one in either spot. Zach Martin, was better than Nelson last year. 2 Notre Dame guys. I'm proud to be a Notre Dame fan on a video like this. Safer bet would probably be Zach Martin, even though he doesn't need to stay healthy. But and he's been just elite. Just you know what you're going to get from him if he's on the field. I want to quit Nelson because, again, I'm predicting this upcoming season. So Nelson a little further away from that foot injury, which was kind of a problem for him, obviously. Basically, since he's further away from that, I think it's cleared up. I think he's going to get back on track to playing elite football. And he's still young, still getting better, kind of getting used to, that injury and everything, and kind of get back on track. So I'll predict Nelson to be number 1, but him and Martin are pretty 1A, 1B. And last year Martin was just playing simple 1, but both elite guys at the top there. So some really good guards. I noticed, especially while talking in this video, a lot of these guys have new teams. A lot of free agency signing, big-time free agency signings. So, and some of those last year that worked out, too, with the change of scenery. We saw that. So we'll see how these guys, the players on new teams, work out. So I'm excited about that as well. Next, we'll do centers. Centers will have their separate video, and we're going to take every team's starting center. Have to project who the starting center will be on some teams, and we'll rank them from 32 to 1. So that should be pretty interesting. And then next week we'll go on to the defensive positions, which should be, I'm more of a defensive guy, so that's just more of a fan of defense for some reason. So that should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you join us for all that. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on, follow us on Twitter. A lot going on there. It's at GoDotsNFL. There's a link down below for that. But that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.